thank you for joining me on Dishing with me, Heather D. And I got a new treat. I am doing some speckled butter beans. Yes, not black eyed peas. We're going to step outside the tradition. And we're going to do some speckled butter beans, which is the picked Sweet Farm brand. It's frozen. And these are going to be some shortcuts. I'm going to show you how to get this put together to kind of cut on some of that time. You could do this in your crock pot or on the stove. I'm going to add, for some flavor, some smoked turkey parts and some okra. Yes, if you've seen some of my previous bean videos or peas videos, I haven't used okra, and this time I'm going to be using some. So stay tuned. Do not touch that device. See how I get this put together, and I believe your family will enjoy. Okay, so we're going to start out with approximately 4.5 cups of water or more, depending on how large of a portion of your beans you're planning to cook. I'm going to, I see that 4.5 cups wasn't enough, but I'm going to add another 1 cup of water to this. But before I do that, we're going to have our smoked turkey parts. They're going to go in here. This to the side, and I have 2 cups of frozen bell peppers and onions. I'm using red and green and the white onions. This is also going to go in here. They seem like big pieces, but these are going to cook down and really reduce. So you can use the finely chopped one. I used the fajita brand or the style, but like I said, this is going to reduce, and these are going to get a lot smaller as they cook because of the water content. I'm going to go and add about another 1.5 cups of water to this pot so they can cook. Okay, here's our 1.5 cups. So with the 4.5 and the 1.5 cups, you do the math. 4 plus 1 is 5. Approximately 6 cups of water. So we have 6 cups of water in there with our veggies. I'm going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of this vegetable, better than bouillon vegetable. Add this to here. Get that off. I'm going to rinse it off. And then I'm going to add the chicken. You don't have to add both. This is totally up to you, but I like that extra flavor. That's going to go with those smoked turkey necks. I'm going to do 1/2 tablespoon in this. Now we have both vegetable and chicken in there. And I'm going to let this cook on medium heat. And it's going to be covered. I lost my lid. Here it is. This is going to cover, and I'm going to let it cook on medium heat halfway through before I go and add my beans and other flavors and seasonings. So we used 6 cups of water. I use my smoked turkey parts. You can use whatever smoked meat you like. And I use approximately 2 cups of the fajita blend or your already frozen bell peppers and onions. If you get it fresh or chop it up fresh, that's totally up to you. This is just a little quick way, semi-quick way, just to cut back on some steps. That's what I added to this pot. And we'll be right back. As soon as, after about 1 hour, we'll come back and check on them. This is an up-close look at how the smoked turkey parts are looking, and they are looking quite nice. So what I'm going to do now is I actually let these cook for about 1 hour and 20 minutes versus the hour that I mentioned earlier in the video. So I let it cook for 1 hour and 20 minutes, and now I am about to add my beans. So I'm adding all 3 bags. And these are going to give it some really good flavor. And now for the seasonings, I'm going to add my black pepper. I'm going to add some of this Badia Complete. It's about approximately 1/2 teaspoon of the pepper and about a teaspoon of the Badia Complete. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of my go-to salad and vegetable herb blend, Wildman's. I'm going to also add about 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon, depending on how it tastes later on. I'm going to add a little bit of this hickory smoked salt. And so I'm going to start out with just about 1/2 teaspoon, because I don't want this to be too salty. And then, of course, I'm going in with some Cajun seasoning. And I'm only going to use about a teaspoon. You can use that according to your discretion. Now I'm going to get a spoon and mix this all up. So that all those flavors and those seasonings from the smoked meat and everything can come together. This is going to be so good. You can also use these in a bean soup, mixing it with some crowded peas and some black-eyed peas, and have these speckled butter beans. So I'm just mixing that all together, and now I'm going to let these beans cook on a low temperature for about 1 hour and a half. So those are going to cook for about 1 hour and a half, and we'll be right back. Ooh, look at those beans. Now, it's only been about 1/2 hour, but I wanted to go ahead and add like 1/2 stick of butter. Not traditionally used, I guess, depending on where you're from, but adding some butter to these beans, it's going to make these beans have even more flavor, because nothing tastes quite like butter. Butter gives all those good flavors. No, I'm not trying to be a Paula Deen, but you know, for these beans, yes, we're going to let these beans simmer in this butter for the last hour. And then we're going to check on them to see if they will be ready. This smoked turkey is about done because they're starting to fall apart a little bit. But that's what we want. We want that meat falling off the bone. Okay, I'm going to let that cover and come back. Well, as you can see, the meat has fallen off the bone, and this is how tender, and yeah, the mugs is good and done. So now the final step is to pour on the okra. Now, you don't have to use the okra, but I like okra. And I'm just putting a few pieces right on top because I don't want it to get all slimy through the beans. So I'm going to put some of that juice on there. And I'm going to let these pretty much like a steam cook for about good 10 minutes. And then we're going to be ready to plate this baby up. This is done. It is time to plate up. Look at this. Yes, it's done. Speckled butter beans with some smoked turkey necks and that okra. Got some mixed vegetables and, of course, cornbread. Now, let me get the camera right. Now that we have this delicious meal, and for video purposes, that's why I have this on a small saucer. You know, I don't want to seem greedy, and plus, you know, I gotta get things right for my children. However you want to say it. Okay, so we're about to taste this. And a piece of that okra. It's still whole, it's not slimy, for those who don't like slimy okra. Okra, so tender. Get a piece of cornbread. Sorry, that's how to eat. That's soul right there. And these mixed vegetables. This whole meal is screaming from the soul. This is good. So, if you like this video, please click like. Make sure you share it. Leave a comment. Subscribe. All that good stuff. Because these speckled butter beans brings me back from when I used to go to Louisiana with my mama. When we used to ride. So good. Back before GPSs were used. You had the big old atlas maps, you know. For those of you who know. Of course, to top off, totally optional, well, I was going to add some Frank's hot sauce to this, but unfortunately, we ain't got no Frank's, so I have to eat it as is. But like I said, you know what to do for this video. Make sure you leave a comment. This is totally good. Perfect way to enter the new year. So, thank you for watching. Have a blessed and safe and happy new year and years to come. And I hope you all stay safe during this New Year's Eve. Continue to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Have a wonderful evening. I'm about to tear this mug up.